Have you ever found yourself staring at your inbox at 2 a.m., the day's tasks still swirling, feeling a deep, persistent fatigue that no amount of rest seems to touch? Or perhaps you've noticed yourself feeling increasingly detached, even cynical about the work you once loved, the work you lead. If so, you might be experiencing something far more common than you realize, especially if you're a manager: burnout. Today, we're going to explore the critical issue of manager burnout, its early signs, the profound impact it has, and most importantly, practical strategies for tackling it head-on. This isn't about individual weakness. It's about understanding a systemic challenge that affects not just you, but your entire team and organization. Burnout, as psychologist Christina Maslach eloquently described, is more than just feeling tired. It's a complex psychological syndrome defined by three interconnected dimensions: persistent exhaustion, a growing sense of cynicism or depersonalization towards your job and colleagues, and a diminished feeling of personal accomplishment. For managers, this state is particularly acute. You're constantly balancing your own demanding workload with the needs, development, and accountability for your team. You're the crucial link, often the sandwich generation of the workplace, caught between the strategic demands of senior leadership and the day-to-day operational realities and human needs of your direct reports. The recent shifts in the labor market, from the Great Resignation to the complexities of managing remote and hybrid teams, have only amplified this vulnerability. Managers are absorbing more pressure, navigating more uncertainty, and often doing so with fewer resources, making burnout a trending and, sadly, often silent epidemic. So let's delve into the early warning signs. Recognizing these is your first crucial step toward intervention. Think of them as your body and mind's subtle alarms, signaling that your well-being reservoir is running low. On the emotional and psychological front, you might notice yourself venting anger more often, withdrawing from colleagues, or struggling to share your true feelings. Negative mood swings become more frequent, empathy might decrease, and you may start feeling a profound detachment from your work, or even dread the start of each workday. That nagging loss of confidence, even in areas where you once excelled, is another significant indicator, often coupled with reduced social interaction both inside and outside of work. Behaviorally, early signs can manifest as increased absenteeism or a pervasive habit of procrastination. You might find your concentration wavering, decision-making becoming slower and more difficult, or you might start neglecting your own professional development. You might be working odd hours, sending terse, shorter responses, or doing the bare minimum just to get by, skipping optional meetings you once valued. These are all subtle shifts from your usual engaged self. And then there are the physical signs, which are often the most difficult to ignore. Persistent exhaustion, even after a full night's sleep, is a hallmark. Sleep problems themselves can be a major red flag: struggling to fall asleep, waking up thinking about work, or experiencing drowsiness during the workday. Headaches, digestive issues, and a general feeling of being unwell can also become chronic companions. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They're your body crying out for help.
But what causes this pervasive state? Managers face a unique confluence of stressors. Unmanageable workloads, often coupled with unreasonable time pressures and consistently long hours, are primary culprits. Add to this constantly shifting expectations, a lack of clear role definition, and insufficient communication or support from your own leadership, and you have a recipe for chronic stress. Perceived unfairness, or a mismatch between your personal values and the organization's actions, can also be deeply demoralizing. Don't forget the emotional demands of navigating team conflicts, dealing with difficult personalities, and the constant churn of organizational change and economic uncertainty. These are heavy burdens to carry daily. The impact of manager burnout isn't contained to the individual. It creates a ripple effect throughout the entire organization. For the individual manager, it leads to reduced productivity, impaired decision-making, a profound loss of motivation, and serious physical and mental health issues. Your team also suffers. Your stress can spill over, weakening support systems, decreasing employee motivation, and ultimately diminishing overall team performance. For the organization as a whole, this translates into higher manager and employee turnover, increased recruitment and training costs, disrupted team cohesion, and the insidious fostering of a toxic work culture. It's a costly problem in every sense. Now, let's turn our attention to what can be done. Addressing manager burnout requires a dual approach, tackling both organizational responsibilities and individual coping strategies. It's not an either-or situation. Both are essential. On the organizational front, leadership must step up. This means providing clear communication and realistic expectations, not just for tasks, but for workload and well-being. Offering robust support through coaching, employee assistance programs, and manager support circles is vital. Implementing flexible policies, genuinely flexible schedules, workplace accommodations, and encouraging real-time off is non-negotiable. Crucially, senior leaders must model healthy boundaries and prioritize their own mental health, setting a powerful example. Active recognition and appreciation of managers' efforts, alongside fostering psychological safety, where it's okay to openly discuss burnout, are foundational for prevention. Individually, managers also have powerful tools at their disposal. Start by proactively reconnecting with your purpose. Remind yourself why you do what you do. Learn to challenge unmanageable workloads, and crucially, recognize your personal triggers. Build buffer time between tasks to avoid feeling constantly rushed. Prioritizing sleep is non-negotiable. It's the foundation of resilience. Practice reframing negative thoughts, celebrate small achievements, and take strategic breaks throughout your day, not just at lunchtime. Finally, don't shy away from seeking external support from mentors, coaches, or even therapists. These aren't signs of weakness, but acts of profound self-care and wisdom. It's important to acknowledge a key debate: the tension between individual and organizational responsibility. While individual coping strategies are important, experts increasingly emphasize that organizational systems and culture are major contributors to burnout, not just individual failures to cope. There's also a persistent recognition gap. Managers may overestimate employee well-being, senior leaders might not fully grasp the extent of manager burnout, and managers themselves often hide symptoms due to stigma. We must move beyond superficial interventions and address the underlying systemic issues that contribute to chronic stress. Manager burnout is not a temporary blip. It's a critical and growing concern, amplified by ongoing changes in how we work. The very existence of burnout cycles tells us that this is a recurring problem demanding sustained attention. It requires continuous, effective interventions rather than one-off solutions.
As we move forward, organizations must prioritize creating supportive environments and implementing comprehensive, ongoing strategies to mitigate manager burnout. This isn't just about individual well-being, it's about the health, productivity, and sustainability of your entire workforce. By understanding the signs, addressing the causes, and implementing effective fixes, we can foster workplaces where managers and their teams can truly thrive.